Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما صدق الله العظيم. A few months ago we read the first ayah or two from Surah Al-Baqarah and we talked about taqwa, but really it wasn't finished. So I thought I will maybe inshallah in the next 20 minutes or so just do some other bayan about it. Because Allah, when He starts the book with that Alif Lam Mim, He says that in this book there is no doubt. So when we approach the book, before you even started, before you open the Quran, you have a lot of preformed ideas in your brain, lots of doubts. It won't work. It needs a brain that is receptive, that doesn't have all this khurafat, these wahiyat, these unnecessary things. Or you are sitting watching TV and then suddenly you decide, let me just read some Quran, it won't work. Because the situation is not ideal. It has to be a situation that is more inducible or inducive to this kind of thing. Because these are the words of Allah. And it only affects the hearts that are ready to receive it. And Allah talks about the hearts in the same surah, that some of the hearts, they are like rocks. أو أشد قسوة. And then maybe harder than the rocks. So if you put water, this revelation is like a beautiful water, beautiful Mubarak, full of barakah and blessing. If you put it on a hard rock, it just goes, it doesn't stay. Whereas when the heart is soft, it is softened by the zikr of Allah, then the revelation, just like the water, will stay on it and will have its effects. Because later Allah says, وَإِنَّ مِنَ الْحِجَارَةِ لَمَا يَتَفَجَّرُ مِنْهُ الْأَنْهَارُ. There are rocks. They split because of the fear of Allah. And the water gushes out of it. And this phenomena, I have seen it with my own eyes. There is a track, walking track, between Murray and Nadia Gully. These are the hilly area. And when you walk there, these big rocks, stones, they just roll down. Suddenly, there is no monkey up there, nothing there. Suddenly, big rocks goes down. Well, who is there to push it? They say it's gravity, yeah. But who made the gravity do it? The gravity just suddenly doesn't pop up and does this thing. Anyway, my purpose today was that Allah, when He talks about the muttaqeen, He says, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. The first requirement for taqwa is to believe in the unseen. And this is the problem of the modern men and women. They have a hard time believing in something that they can't see, they can't touch, they can't talk to. Because we are all sensual persons. We all depend on our external senses. We don't have the inner sense of the heart. I'm not generalizing it, but I'm just saying that majority of the time, there are good people who have all of that. But if you just work on your outer sense, you will miss the ghaib. And if you miss the ghaib, you don't believe in the ghaib, it's very difficult to remain Muslim. Because for Islam, our number one belief in the ghaib is in Allah. We have to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In His ghaib, nobody can see Him. He says in the Quran, أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٌّ فَاطِرِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Is there any doubt about Allah? He's the creator of the heaven and earth. But even for that, the modern man says it just came into existence. There was a Big Bang. Who caused the Big Bang? Just suddenly, from nowhere, the Big Bang came. And with a bang, the earth and the moon, the earth and the samawat, they got split. And the current universe came into being. But reality is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the source of everything. There is nothing in the world that He does not control. But Allah asked this question. Is there doubt? أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٌّ فَاطِرٌ. Do you have a doubt in your mind that there is no God? Our first shahada to enter Islam is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. The two attestations. That there is no God but God. And I like to say here that don't translate La ilaha illallah, that there is no God but Allah, because it is kind of a little difficult for other people. We do say that there is no God but God. Because we first negate that there is nobody worthy of worship. And then we say God, Allah. When we say God, we mean Allah. When we say Khuda, we mean Allah. And there's nothing wrong with saying Khuda in Persian. And in Hindi, if they call him Walidullah Awidur Rahman, Ayyamma Tad'u, Falahu Asmaul Husna. You cannot call him a name that is not proper. But proper names are all the good names. وَلَهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى is for him. In the hadith he has 99 names, but these 99 names are mentioned, whereas he has more than that. And in a little later I will mention the 99 names to you. But let's start with the Shahada. Shahada means witnessing in Arabic. And if you don't see something, you can't witness it. You have to see to witness. In other words, if you haven't seen Allah, which nobody can see, how can you witness Him? We believe that nobody in this dunya will be able to see Allah. The Prophet ﷺ is a controversial opinion about his seeing Allah when he went to Mi'raj. In one hadith, he did, another is negated, but in any event, if he saw Allah, he was not in this world. It was in the other world. Because he was in the Sidrat al-Muntaha, in the Jannat al-Ma'wa. Sidrat al-Muntaha is the end of the universe. There's no created universe after that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his arsh. And the arsh of Allah is not in his created things. It is above the created things. And people have a lot of difficulty with that. But Imam Malik really took all the difficulties out. He was asked about the istiwa. What is the istiwa? The ascension on the throne. And he said, al-istiwa ma'lum. It is well known that he is, Allah is on his arsh. And it doesn't matter he's standing or sitting, it does not really matter. Some philosophers got into this, whether he's standing or sitting. This arsh is for him and we don't know, nobody has seen him, so we just say he's on istawa ala al-arsh. وَكَيْفِيَّتُهُ مَجْهُولٌ. He says, this is well known that he is on the arsh, but the kayfiyah, how he's there, standing, sitting, is majhul, unknown. And we don't need to know, because it won't help us. وَسُوَالُ عَنْ بِدَعَ. To ask about it is a bid'ah, because the Sahaba never asked the Prophet ﷺ. So we will be committing a bid'ah to ask about it. So as far as the zat, the essence of Allah is concerned, we don't know anything about it. And we don't need to be because we're not capable. But we know Him through His attributes, sifat of Allah. I tell you a hadith, and I think I narrated it in the past. The Prophet ﷺ was walking around with his companion, and he saw this old woman who was working on spinning wheel. And I think the majority of you wouldn't know spinning wheel because you have never seen it. But it was in the pre-modern age when they used to spin wool into a thread. So anyway, she was doing that, and the Prophet ﷺ asked her, where is Allah? And she pointed to the heavens, and he was satisfied with that answer. Then he asked her, how do you know there is Allah? She said, you know, this simple contraption that I have, it requires my hand to spin it. It won't spin by itself. So how can all this universe, this heaven and earth, this moon, the sky, the sun, the stars, how are they spinning? Who is spinning them? So that was an answer, and a very beautiful answer. Then a Badwan was asked, how do you know that there is God? And he said, you know, when I'm in the desert and I saw the footsteps of a camel, I know that the camel has passed. Because of his footsteps, because of the ayat, the signs. And that's what we know Allah by His ayat. And the ayat is everywhere. Allah says, وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُقِنِينَ وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And then in Surah Fussilat, Allah says, سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. أولم يكفي بربك أنه على كل شيء شهيد. Allah says that we will show them, these human and jinn, the ayat. In the first ayah, في أنفسهم وفي أنفسكم أفلا تبصرون. We will show you, we're showing you the ayat, the signs of the existence of Allah, the power of Allah in your own selves. You just have to look at it. And then in the other ayah says that we will show you the ayat in the horizon and in the suns and in the heavens, but also in your own selves. And in your own selves, really, if you look at it, it's amazing. Your self is amazing, physically also. When you look at something, the shadow gets inverted upright in your lens. It is sent to your occipital cortex in the brain, in the back of your brain, and it gets in your picture. Your picture is there. It's not only your picture. The whole of your history that I know, or somebody you are familiar with, comes to mind. Within a millisecond, not in 1 second, 1,000 part of a second it's done. Who can do that? Somebody can do it one time, if possible, but it is done the whole day. And then look at your heart. Your heart pumps 5 to 6 liters of blood every minute. That's called cardiac output. Every minute. And if your heart is beating 60 times, 70 times, 80 times, up to 90 times in a minute, then you can multiply. And then multiply it by the 24 hours, 7 days of the week, 30 days of the month, 365 days of the year. And some people these days, they live up to 91, 92. For 91 years, your heart keeps pumping without stop. If it stops for just 3 seconds, you will get dizzy and you will probably pass out. And if you're too old, they put a pacemaker in. And if the heart stops 3 minutes, you are done. Your brain develops irreversible damage. So who is preventing the heart from stopping? Who is giving nutrition to this heart? Who is giving the lube? And who is doing the service of it? I mean, we all service our car every 3,000 miles or every so many miles. This machine, the whole body, especially the heart and the lungs, they go on. If people live right, don't smoke, don't drink, and don't eat excessively and exercise on a regular basis, they can live long. Unless, by the qadar of Allah, there is some other accident and other things. But with a good living, if you exercise, you should exercise, all of you should exercise 150 minutes a week. If you don't, you are not making shukr for your body. The shukr of your body is to keep it upright, to keep it going. Not to eat more, but to service Allah, to do what He wants us to do. These are all, the lessons of Allah. In the Surah Yusuf, at the end of the Surah Yusuf, Allah says, وَكَمْ مِنْ آيَةٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَمُرُّونَ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ عَنْهَا مُعْرِضُونَ. How many signs are there in the heaven and earth that they pass by, but they don't even look at it. They turn their face away. And long time ago, I had read a book. It was written by an Indian, K. Das, and it was called Surgical Methods, and they explain different things. But at the front of the book, they usually give a saying or something or some quote. He says on that what mind does not know, eyes don't see. If you don't have the knowledge, you can't see. Somebody will be pointing it to you, it's there, I don't know, because you don't know, you don't have the knowledge. So knowledge is important. But if you don't have the knowledge, you can go out, look around, you don't see. A knowledgeable person will go and he will see a lot of things. So Allah is telling us that how many people are there who are passing by these things and they turn their faces away from it. And how many blessings are there that they look at it, they feel it, they use it, but they don't even know where the blessing is coming from. One example of an archetype Allah describes in Surah Al-Qasas is Qarun. Inna Qaruna kana min qawmi Musa fabagha alayhi. He was Musa alayhi salam. They say, in some tafasir that say he was his cousin. Ibn Ammi, his uncle, son. But fabagha alayhi, he got crazy and he went the wrong way. فخرج على قومه before that وآتيناه من الكنوز ما إن مفاتحه لتنوء بالعصبة والقوة. Allah says we had given him so many treasures that the keys to the treasures were heavy for a big group of people. Because people used to carry things, so they couldn't. Can you make space for the people in the, please, get closer, there is barakah. قال له قومه لا تفرح. When his people saw him, they told him لا تفرح. And I looked and looked and looked, and I can't come up with a good English translation of farah. But I say farah means to puff up. You get puffed up. They told him, don't get puffed up because you got all this. Inna Allah yuhibbul farihin, because Allah does not like people who are puffed up because of their possessions, the things that they possess. Is it their knowledge, their work, their status in society, the number of cars, the type of car, type of house, all these things make them puffed up. قال إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. He said, this was my knowledge. Nobody gave it to me. And this is the problem. We, after recognizing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do the ma'rifah, we believe that everything is from Allah. Nothing is, they say I'm a self-made person. What is self-made? Who made you? So, Harun, he became full of this air. I just want to say one thing about difference between arrogance and farah. So arrogance in Arabic is kibr. When you think you are better than anybody, you are taller, you are handsome, you are rich, more educated, you know more computers, this. You have some wrong ideas, some delusional ideas. And that makes you an arrogant person. Well, the Prophet ﷺ was asked, a Sahabi came to him and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I like nice shoes, nice clothes. So, is this kibr? He said, no. Kibr is that batar al-haq wa ghamt al-nas. When you hide the haq, the truth, you cover it up, and you look down on people, this is kibr. And this is the kibr which shaitan had. Shaitan told, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ طِينٍ. I'm better than him. You made him from clay and you made him from fire. Fire is better in his estimate. Who cares? Who thinks it's better? I think the clay is better. You can make a lot more things from the clay than the fire. Fire is destructive, burns everything. But he was deluded. In his delusional state, he said that he was better than Adam alayhi salam. Oh, okay, I don't think I can finish. The time is, Brother Al-Heath, he said it too short. Allah bless him. But I just will say one thing. That when we talk about the essence of Allah, Allah says in the Quran, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ. There is nothing like him. So don't waste your time. You cannot understand the essence of Allah. Allah is the most beautiful and He has everything positive. But we can reach to Him through His attributes. Now, although Allah is on His arsh, but His ilm, His knowledge, and His nusra and His help is everywhere. In Surah Al-Luqman, the ayah says, he's talking to his son, Ya bunayya, innaha in takum misqala habbatin min khardalin fatakun fi sakhratin aw fi samawati aw fil ard yati biha al-amr. He said, my dear son, if you have a small seed, khardal, and you hide it in the center of a stone, or you hide it somewhere in the heaven or in the earth, Allah will bring it forth. Allah will bring it. Inna Allah latifun khabir. Because He is latif. Latif means somebody who can see microscopically. He can see inside the stone and nothing can escape from His vision. Imam Ghazali said that if you have a black stone in the darkness of the night and you have a small ant that's crawling on it, Allah not only sees the ant but hears the crawling of the ant. This is how Allah is. And Allah says, يَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ وَمَا أَخْفَى. He knows not only the secret but something that is more hidden than the secret. Now, I mean, you can think about it. What is more hidden than the secret? When you have a secret in your heart and you haven't told anybody, what could be more hidden than that? I think, maybe, hopefully I'm right, Sheikh Usman can help me on that. I think more secret will be when the things are in your prefrontal brain, where the idea starts, then comes to the heart. But it has not, it is formulating. There are several chemicals in the brain, mediators. And Allah knows those brain waves, those EEG waves that get activated to formulate something. It's amazing how things are done in the brain and in the heart. So we need to, I don't mean for you to start reading physiology and anatomy and those things, but just for the sake of taking a lesson. Lesson for the sake of to become reformed and to enjoy our ibadah. Because Allah says, ما من نجوى من ثلاثة إلا هو رابعهم ولا خمسة إلا هو سادسهم ولا أدنى من ذلك ولا أكثر إلا هو معهم. There cannot be a secret council of 3, but Allah is 4 of them. There cannot be a secret council of 5, but Allah will be the 6th of them. If they are more or less, Allah is with them. So this Ma'iyya of Allah is by knowledge. The Ma'iyya of Allah, which is described in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. And when the Prophet ﷺ was in the Ghar, tried to hide from Quraysh. And Suraqa ibn Malik, the one who was chasing them, was right at the entrance of the cave. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was with him. And he was not concerned about himself, but for the Prophet ﷺ, and he was kind of shaking from the fact that this guy is getting us. So the Prophet ﷺ put his hand on him and told him, La tahzan, inna Allah ma'ana. Don't worry, Allah is with us. And if Allah is with you, this is it. You don't need anybody. But that needs the yaqeen. If there is yaqeen, certitude, no doubt, then things will work very well. I have a lot more things to say, but I will stop here. And inshallah, some other time. May Allah Ta'ala keep us on the right path and guide us. اللهم إنا نسألك الحق والمعافاة في الدنيا والآخرة. الحمد لله علي الذات عظيم الصفات جزيل العطاء مجيب الدعاء أمين الإحسان ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Finally, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was asked about the essence of Allah. He said, Al-ajzu min idrakihi idrakuhu. Inability to perceive him is his perception. If you feel that I cannot perceive him, you perceive him, because that's how he is. Nobody can perceive Allah. So, this was beautifully said. Al-ajzu min idrakihi idrakuhu. Ali radiallahu anhu, he said, هو قريب في بعده وبعيد في قربه. Because Allah says that وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي أَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. And then in another place he described قريب more. نحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد. The neck veins, artery veins, all these structures. Allah says that I'm closer than that, but by His knowledge and by His nusra. So we have to kind of look into that and understand it. May Allah Ta'ala give us the sahih, the right understanding, to follow Islam and the Sunnah. And inshallah sometime we should talk about the marifah. This is the marifah of Allah, the marifah of the Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah complains, أَمْ لَمْ يَعْرِفُوا رَسُولَهُمْ فَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ. They have not recognized their prophet. That's why they deny him. And Allah complains about himself. وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ وَالْأَرْضُ جَمِيعًا قَبْضَتُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَالسَّمَاوَاتُ مَطْوِيَّاتٌ بِيَمِينِهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى مَا يُشْرِكُونَ. They have not measured Allah. وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهِ. They don't have the qadr of Allah. Qadr not in the taqdeer sense, but qadr like when you respect somebody. So they have not respected Allah. They have not evaluated him properly to develop this kind of respect for him. May Allah give us the tawfiq to do all that and keep us together, and please help. The masjid is needing help. I don't know, with all this, mashallah, why should they even be our elders, our respectables have to even say this? This should be, by everybody. Because if there is 1,000 people, or if there is 100 people, and some of them capable of giving 1,000, 100,000, 3, 4 Jummah, all their problems will be solved. It can be done. It is done by other denomination and other cultures. So inshallah, look into it. May Allah Ta'ala bless you all, keep you safe, and keep you coming to the masjid.
أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله الله
Please stay seated, all of you, please, if you can, if you don't mind. A very important message to you from Brother Marwan, the financial secretary at the masjid. The masjid is really in low amount of funds. I mean, it could be enough for a month or 2 months, no more than that. It's okay. That's good. So, as a fundraising coordinator, my name is Muhammad Al-Hiti. So I appeal to every single man and woman, student and professional, to dig deep in your pocket and help the masjid. Our expense is too high. The winter needs a lot of heating. We have a high payroll. We have a lot of maintenance. We just finished the front. So I cannot go to another mosque and ask them. I have 150 professional, between doctors, professors, engineers, businessmen in this town, and I go and ask them for funds. The majority of funds which we get it every week, it comes from a student, unfortunately. Student, they dig and give $10, $15. And that's not fair. So I'm sorry to be a little bit upset, but that's, as Dr. Aziz said at the end, the Christians, the Jews, they give 5 to 10% of their income. Give 1%, no more than 1%. But we cannot go to another community. If you don't find the heat and the electricity, and Sheikh Khalid to teach your children Quran, next month, don't blame anybody. We cannot go outside. We need this community to give. Jazakumullah khair, may Allah bless you. And Jazakallah khair Dr. Aziz for his wonderful khutbah.
Assalamu alaikum. The Khatib was Dr. Aziz Rahman, may Allah bless him. Also, please don't forget to donate for the masjid. Prayer in the masjid on Jum'ah requires mask. Islamic school will start this Sunday. This Sunday, Islamic school for boys and girls that has Arabic, Islamic studies, and Quran. Please renew your membership. If you are a member, you're expired basically at the end of the month, last month. So we have this month as a grace period to renew your membership. Otherwise you cannot vote or you cannot run for an office. Lunch today is pizza. Donation $7. So,
No, yes, I just said in the email. People are confusing. Yeah. Some people say it says